When we started this film as a project, I invited myself into your life to do this, and the first time I asked you if this would be something I could do, you said, I don't know why, and I don't know why not.
Yeah.
When I make a portrait with a person, my first goal is always to make something which the subject is comfortable with, in a sense, to try to make the film that that person might make about themselves if they were so inclined. And then as a second purpose, when the film is done, I want people to be curious to learn more about that person. If it's a poet, to read their books. With a filmmaker, to try to become curious about the films they've made. Over the last 10 years, when people have asked me who you are, I've become quite clear. My own little stump speech response is, George Stoney is a filmmaker who is still making films, a teacher who is still teaching, and an activist who's still trying to change the world. And I mentioned that last night, after the work in progress screening, when we came back, and I was just trying to take a few notes about what people had said, that a fuller portrait of you, my own purpose, it would be a story, a film, which touched on all three of those aspects, filmmaker, teacher, and activist. And then it hit me and that I am a filmmaker who teaches, who tries to be an activist. And I thought, my God, George, I now get why I have been curious about the work that you do and the life that you've been living. I want to make something that you are comfortable with, George, and which has the effect on an audience of wanting to look at more of your work.
Well, I got that aha feeling last night when the audience was looking at your film about me and my collaborative work, when that section about organ donation came in. I never thought of those films as mine, but you made them mine by showing how I use them, which is fascinating. Now they are my film. Seeing what you've done in your film gives me hope that I have created some things that will go on after I leave this world and will continue to have some kind of influence. And that's a satisfaction.
Well, the only thing that I wanted to make a point of saying, George, is how grateful I am that you have let me work with you and study with you and film you, because for me it's been an honor, a privilege, and an ongoing lesson in how to not just make films in a good way, but to try to live a good life. And George, I'm grateful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm also grateful. You've made me aware of material in my films that somehow very often I wasn't seeing. certainly you've found in my work a continuity that wasn't consciously there.